become slide zones when something called the Akusha platforms. In between them, the Akusha platforms are platforms like them, but that are on the Adore side. When they activate, it will link one Aurora platform to the one above it by the Akusha one in the middle, and it will create a three-dimensional reality field of a specific density. So we have Aurora 1, Aurora 2, Aurora 3, and Aurora 4 platforms. When Aurora 1 and Aurora 2 combine through activation of Akusha 1, you get slide zone 1. When Aurora 2 and Aurora 3 combine through Akusha 3, you get slide zone 2, which is equivalent to density 2 matter base. When you have Aurora 3 and Aurora 4 linked through Akusha 3, you get slide zone 3. And that's what they're activating our bodies. They're bringing in the waves that will allow our bodies to rapidly move into slide 3 able, which wouldn't have technically been done until about 40 years from now, 2047, when Eartha was getting ready for its natural star fire. So we were going to start the long way, where you first visit slide zone 1, physically, and then maybe they take it from there up to slide zone 2. Now they're going to take us, there's two ways. The way through what's called the Ring of Fire at the core, which is Shala 13. And if you don't have a full Eartha level where you could go right up the gates to Eartha, you can't pass that with a physical body. You can go out in a bardo and get into a safe host if you happen to be a person who's not taking your body with you. But that is reserved for basically ones who have full Eartha level activation. So the Aurora 3 platform is the one that Aurora 2 and 3 unite, and they form the 2 and 3, slide zone 3. That is the one that is going to be the place, the ascension link for anyone from Earth in a biology that wants to take their biology with them. So you don't have to take the body with you, but if you go out and you want to go to a full Adashi cycle, you have to take its matter out with you one way or the other. If, say, you were in a body that it would take too much to reverse mutate it very quickly, and you decided, I'd like to try one of those other ones that they said that we could incarnate directly into an Aquafairy form, which is like, it's part human and it's part Aquarii, and they're really quite lovely forms, kind of like fairies, but they don't have wings. They don't need wings because they can fly without them. But there will be some people who choose to just say, okay, I'd rather have that form, as my next incarnation, instead of just dragging this through with me and then, seeing what it becomes as it progressively puts itself back together. People that go out in Bardo will still need to take the body out with them, because if you leave parts of yourself here, you will have frequencies of yourself missing, because you encode your atoms when you are in a body form. If you can pull one body out, it will go back and forward through time and actually pull the encryption out of any other body matter you left. But you need to be able to get one out. And since this is the big ascension cycle, these are the bodies that if you can get it out, it doesn't matter if you decide you want to take it out physically and walk it out smiling, or if you want to say, okay, I'm tired of fighting this thing, and it keeps, I fight it fights me back, we keep fighting, we're supposed to be able to heal, why isn't it healing as fast as I wanted to, why isn't it doing this? There's all sorts of stuff we have in our gene codes from all sorts of places, and if it becomes a struggle that you don't want that, when a natural time comes, where, what's supposed to be natural here on this planet is bodies die, right? That isn't a natural condition in general. But if you end up at a point where that feels like it's going to happen, or where you almost wish it would, don't feel bad about that, because you can go into the earthly ascension either walking it through a gate or if you go through a natural Bardo cycle, and that doesn't mean kill yourself. Keep it around as long as you can, all right? Because the more frequency you can raise in it, the easier it is to bring all of you through one way or the other, right? But you would be able to transfer over into the slide zones, and it would be, now they have the slide. Actually, the Shala 13, they're saying, would be the easy out for ones that don't take their bodies fully, and you would be able to incarnate directly. But it's almost like you would pull the body through as vapor with you, so the atoms that it was made out of that are still holding your encryption would come. Actually, one of the worst things, and I hate to say this to people because it'll probably upset a lot of people, one of the worst things you can do at this point in time, because of the way the gates are And that's not saying that always it's bad. You don't have to go digging up lots of dead relatives for the last 500 years or anything. But let's put it this way. Let's forget the word worst. Let's use the word best. One of the best things you can do in order to, if you end up finding yourself in a situation where you're bardoing out or doing natural death cycle out, is to not bury the body but cremate it. Because you can pull it out as vapor and pull your encryption out of ashes, where when it gets stuck in the earth, your encryption is stuck there, and that will hold you into the place longer. All right. Now, there are other things. There's lots of people who have been buried for a very, very long time, and believe me, that was not a guardian idea, just so you know. Yeah. It was for preserving gene codes and various other things that others might want to use who couldn't get them any other way. But people who have relatives, and we have relatives too, that have chosen to be buried and those kind of things because of their religious beliefs. There are other missions being run from elsewhere that will assist people who have crossed in those ways to get out of the encryption. All right, so they're not stuck in a fall situation. So that's not something you have to worry about. You won't be able to fix that from here, but there are teams on that, just so you know. So you don't have to worry about dead relatives and those kind of things. But there's another level of the guardian races that are dealing with helping those. Just like we have the Aquareions dealing with helping us. We're still walking around, living and breathing, and going, oh boy, we're in trouble down here, aren't we? Yeah, just a bit. And they're trying to help us get out. Well, there's the same thing is happening with the souls and the spirit of people who have crossed over, but were hanging around here because their bodies were still, even in molecular form at that point, but still with the encryption in the ground. There are ways, but it takes a bit of work from above to bring the encryption out when it's stuck in a planetary shield. All right, so just a suggestion that first of all, you don't have to be scared you don't have to be afraid of the concept of death, but you don't have to look forward to it either. Hey, go for trying to walk it through the gates if you can, because boy, there's a victory in that for all those who have done this to the Christic races for so long, that to actually be able to pull it up, straighten it out, and walk it through and go, told you we could. Right?